The air in Huntsville feels heavy again. Not from the southern humidity this time, but from the weight of unspoken words and years of bottled-up tension finally spilling over. What started as quiet whispers has erupted into a storm that no one saw coming. This time, it's LaTisha Scott who's had enough. The calm, composed woman known for her grace and patience has reached her breaking point, and the target of her fury is none other than Arionne Curry. For years, LaTisha tried to stay above the chaos, maintaining her image as a strong wife and businesswoman while others traded insults online. But when Arionne started making pointed comments again questioning marriages, throwing shade at wives she claimed were pretending to be perfect, LaTisha's silence turned into fire. Her message was simple, but it hit like thunder. Some people love to speak on a marriage they could never maintain. Heal and move on. Those few words sent the internet into a frenzy. People weren't used to seeing LaTisha this bold, this direct, this unapologetic. But underneath that calm post was years of frustration, years of being dragged into other people's messes and having her marriage questioned because of someone else's choices. And as LaTisha finally let her emotions show, Martell Holt's silence made everything even louder. Because if there's one thing people have learned about Martell over the years, it's that when he's quiet, something deeper is brewing. But to truly understand why LaTisha's outburst hit so hard and why Martell's silence feels so suspicious, we have to go back to where it all began. Long before social media turned private lives into public entertainment, there was a sense of unity in Huntsville. The cast of Love and Marriage, Huntsville started as friends, ambitious couples trying to build generational wealth together. LaTisha and her husband, Martell Scott, were seen as the picture of stability, college sweethearts, business partners, and proud parents. Their bond seemed unshakable, even as other marriages around them began to crack. Then came the affair. Martell Holt's affair with Arionne Curry didn't just destroy his marriage with Melody, it split the entire group in half. Lines were drawn. Friendships ended. Every couple was suddenly under scrutiny. Melody became the face of heartbreak. Arionne became the villain. And LaTisha? She became the woman everyone watched closely, too closely. Because while she wasn't involved in the affair, she was caught right in the middle of the social fallout. She and Melody had already been struggling in their friendship, and the scandal made things even more complicated. Meanwhile, rumors began circling that Martell wasn't as innocent as he appeared. Photos, comments, and cryptic posts hinted at possible infidelity. LaTisha defended her husband fiercely, insisting their marriage was solid. But the whispers didn't stop. People accused her of living in denial, of being too loyal, of refusing to see what was right in front of her. And through it all, Arionne stayed in the background, occasionally adding fuel to the fire. She would go live on Instagram, dropping half-truths and veiled threats about other people's marriages. She didn't always name names, but everyone knew who she meant. And when she said, "Some of these wives need to stop acting innocent, because if I really started talking, marriages would fall apart," that was the moment the internet turned its eyes straight to LaTisha. The comments section exploded. "She's talking about Tisha." That shade was for the Scotts. Arionne's about to expose something. For a while, LaTisha said nothing. She kept her focus on her businesses, her kids, and her marriage. But behind closed doors, the tension was eating at her. Because no matter how much she tried to rise above it, her name was constantly being dragged through the mud, connected to rumors she didn't start and to a woman she didn't even associate with. Then, one quiet afternoon, LaTisha snapped. Her post wasn't long. It wasn't loud. But it was sharp. It was the message of a woman who had been pushed to her limit. Some people love to speak on a marriage they could never maintain. Heal and move on. The internet went wild. Fans called it classy. Others called it shade. But everyone knew exactly who it was meant for. Arionne didn't respond immediately. And that silence from her, usually so quick to clap back, was strange. But it didn't last long. Within days, she was back on social media, making cryptic remarks about women who pretend to be loyal and wives who look down on other women while ignoring their own issues. The tension was electric. And in the middle of it all, Martell Holt stayed quiet. No comment. No interview. No defense. For a man who once loved to control the narrative, Martell's silence was deafening. Especially now, at 45, when his reputation had already taken enough hits. People expected him to speak, to clarify, to deny, to defend. Instead, he watched the chaos unfold from a distance. Why was Martell so quiet? Some say he's trying to protect what's left of his image. Others believe he's afraid that anything he says might reignite the pain from his past. But those closest to the situation think his silence might be something else entirely: guilt. Because Martell knows this isn't just about words on social media. It's about years of unhealed wounds. It's about the friendships his choices destroyed and the families that never recovered. And LaTisha's anger isn't just about Arionne's shade, it's about all the times she was forced to defend her own marriage because of the chaos Martell brought into their world. Behind the scenes, things weren't as calm as they appeared. Sources close to the cast say LaTisha had been holding back for a long time. That she'd warned people privately to stop dragging her family into drama that didn't belong to them. That she tried to handle things off camera, behind the scenes, but the disrespect kept coming. So when Arionne went live again, hinting that she had receipts on certain marriages, LaTisha decided to draw her line in the sand. Her words weren't just for Arionne, they were for everyone watching, everyone assuming, everyone gossiping. It was her way of saying, I'm not your storyline. I'm not your punchline. I'm a wife, a mother, and I've earned my peace. But here's the twist: while LaTisha was finding her voice, the men around her seemed to be losing theirs. Marceau stayed composed, as always, speaking only when necessary. He told one interviewer, "My responsibility is to my wife and kids, not to strangers on the internet." It was calm, calculated, and maybe even a little cold. But Martell's silence hit differently. After years of living life in the spotlight, after being the center of every scandal and every rumor, his sudden quiet made people uneasy. Was he trying to stay out of it? Or was he hiding something again? Because Martell isn't just a man with a complicated past. He's someone who has seen firsthand how words can destroy families. And maybe this time, he's trying to avoid lighting another fire. Still, people noticed. The blogs noticed. Fans noticed. Even Melody's supporters started speculating, wondering if Martell's silence meant guilt or indifference. It didn't help that Arionne continued making subtle jabs, saying things like, "I'll always be the one they talk about, because I know too much." Too much about what, exactly? That question lingered in the air, fueling more theories, more whispers, more late-night lives filled with speculation. The truth is, the entire situation had become a reflection of everything messy and painful about love, loyalty, and public life. LaTisha had always prided herself on her ability to stay composed, to protect her family image no matter what. But in this latest round of drama, she realized that silence can sometimes look like weakness, and she wasn't about to let anyone mistake her grace for fear. So she spoke. And the way she did it, calm, direct, unapologetic, wasn't just a response. It was liberation. For years, people accused her of living in denial, of not standing up for herself. Now, she was doing exactly that. And for the first time in a long time, the public saw LaTisha not as the quiet wife or the background character, but as a woman who had finally found her strength. Still, her outburst raised deeper questions. Was this really about Arionne? Or was it about the years of humiliation she endured because of Martell's actions? Because let's be honest, if Martell had never stepped outside his marriage, none of this would exist. Arionne wouldn't have had a platform. The cast wouldn't have split. The friendships wouldn't have soured. Martell's affair wasn't just a personal mistake, it became a ripple effect that changed everyone's lives. And now, even after the dust should have settled, those ripples are still spreading. When you look at LaTisha now, you see more than just anger. You see exhaustion. You see a woman tired of being polite while others throw dirt on her name. Her post wasn't just a clapback. It was a declaration. A reminder that even the quiet ones can roar when pushed too far. And Martell? His silence, once seen as maturity, now feels like avoidance. Because while LaTisha is standing tall and facing the storm, he's sitting in the shadows, hoping the storm passes over him. At 45, Martell seems to be wrestling with his own reflection. Once the charming, confident man of Huntsville, now he's the cautionary tale, the man whose choices burned bridges, broke hearts, and left him isolated in his own world. People used to hang on to his words. Now, they notice his absence. Because in a world where everyone's talking, silence speaks volumes. And Martell's silence is saying everything he refuses to admit. Still, this feud isn't just about social media posts and shade, it's about human pain. It's about LaTisha feeling disrespected by a woman who never considered the collateral damage. It's about Arionne still fighting to be heard in a world that refuses to forgive her. And it's about Martell, a man who lit the first match and now can't control the fire. Every time Arionne hints at knowing things, she reminds everyone that the past is never really gone. Every time LaTisha defends her marriage, she reminds us that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. And every time Martell stays quiet, he reminds everyone that guilt doesn't need words to be felt. The emotional toll on all of them is undeniable. Behind the glitz, the interviews, and the perfectly curated photos, there are real people hurting, real families trying to heal, and real scars that no camera can hide. For LaTisha, this feud forced her to reclaim her narrative. For Arionne, it's another battle in a long war for respect she may never fully win. And for Martell, it's yet another reminder of how one choice can destroy an entire legacy. But here's what nobody expected: LaTisha's fury may have actually earned her more respect than ever before. Fans who once called her passive are now praising her strength. They see a woman who has endured rumors, ridicule, and public humiliation, yet still walks with dignity. Her words cut through the noise because they came from truth, not pettiness. And while the internet debates, Martell's silence remains the loudest part of this story. It's a silence that asks, when will he take accountability, not just for what he did to Melody, but for the pain he caused everyone connected to him? Maybe he's finally realizing that some wounds can't be healed with charm or PR statements. Maybe he's learning that sometimes, silence is the only thing left when words have already done too much damage. But whatever the reason, the storm in Huntsville is far from over. LaTisha's fire has lit a new chapter, one where she's no longer the quiet one in the background. Arionne's next move is unpredictable, and Martell's silence, well, that might be the calm before another storm. Because in this town, secrets don't stay buried for long. And if there's one thing we've learned from watching Love and Marriage, Huntsville, it's that behind every smile, there's a story. Behind every marriage, there's a struggle. And behind every silence, there's a truth waiting to be exposed.